Hey, what's going on, man? There's a couple different ways to do this problem. I'm going to show you two different ways. One's going to be in blue, one's going to be in green. The first way really has to do with getting rid of all these negatives and working with only positive numbers. So we'll kind of go through that first. And the second version is just going to be a little more straightforward, just adding and subtracting, okay? So a couple of rules you got to remember. Any coefficients, you do exactly what it says. So this is really just 2 divided by 6. Anything with exponents, you would subtract, okay? And anything that was an exponent on the outside is going to come and kind of get distributed to each one of these things, okay? So this would be 2 to the negative third, x to the negative 10 to the negative third, okay? And the rule is that 2 to the negative third would just be just exactly how it is. We'll get to the negatives in a second. And any exponents you're going to multiply, so this will be negative 10 times negative 3, okay? All right, so let's kind of go through this, okay? So the first step we did here was just get rid of all the negatives on the inside, okay? So remember, if anything's negative on the top, it's going to come down to the bottom. Anything that's negative on the bottom is going to come up to the top, okay? So what we get is this, okay? So the negative 4 on the bottom, up to the top. The negative 10, the negative 3 on the top, down to the bottom, okay? Once you switch them, they turn positive. Good? Okay? Then the next thing we're going to do is we see this negative up here, we're going to make that positive as well, okay? What we do, to make this positive, you take the whole fraction and flip it, because essentially all these will become negative, all these will become positive. So we get this new fraction that looks like this, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. The first thing we do is we combine these like terms, okay? Again, since these are multiplied, this is x to the 8 times x to the 10. So it's x times itself 8 times and x times itself 10 times, which really means x 18 times. Here, I'm sorry about that. Here, your negative is where we're going to switch, okay? So everything that was on the top here is going to come down to the bottom. Everything that was on the bottom is going to come down to the come up to the top, and your negative is going to disappear. Okay? So now, again, this is kind of our goal. Everything is positive now, okay? All right. So now we're going to take this 3 and we're going to give it to everything. Before you do that, you could take 6 to the third power and 2 to the third power. It's much easier right from the beginning, because 6 to the third power is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. But it's much easier to do 6 divided by 2 becomes 3 over 1, and the 1 we don't really worry about. So 3 to the third power becomes 27, which is much easier to deal with. So once you have this everything positive, you want to get rid of this fraction. Again, you don't have to do this, but rather than have 216 over 8, simplify that. Make it 3 over 1, okay? So again, 3 to the third power is 27. 18 to the third, x to the 18 to the third means we're going to multiply 18 times 3, which is 54. And y to the third times 3 becomes 9. Y to the fourth to the third, remember this goes to the top and to the bottom, is going to become y to the 12th. Now we have to eliminate these. So remember, your rule is if you have the same variable, you're going to subtract these exponents. So 9 minus 12 becomes negative 3. Now, one of the things you're not allowed to do is you don't leave negative exponents, okay? As one of my professors, Professor Kane, used to tell us at Lehman, that's unacceptable. It's like wearing socks with sandals. You just don't do it, okay? So this negative 3 is just going to come down to the bottom, and this is your final answer, okay? There's nothing further you can do with that. All right. Second method, okay? We're just going to start just distribute it. Good save. Oh, I zoomed in. Okay. Our next method is we're just going to go right straight ahead. We're going to start by flipping like we did before. We're going to flip this. This is to the negative third. Let's make this to the positive third and switch those, okay? Good? Now, we're going to take this 3, and it's going to go here, 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 and here. So 6 to the third, 216. X to the 8th to the third, 24. Y to the negative 4th to the negative third, negative 4 times 3 is going to be negative 12. 2 to the third, 8. X to the negative 10 to the third, negative 30. Y to the negative third to the third, negative 9. Okay? So we've got this pretty simple. Now we're going to subtract. 24 minus 30. Well, 24 minus negative 30 really means 24 plus 30, because right, it's a double negative. And y to the negative 12 minus 9 is going to be negative 3. Okay, so just watch your positives and your negatives if you're going to use this method. Okay, that's why we kind of went through the process of getting rid of all that as negatives. But if you're okay with working with negatives, which you should be by this point, no big deal there. 216 divided by 8 is 27. No big deal there, okay? So again, I kind of left it like that so you can see up here with this other one when we got to this step over here. You should know how to multiply and divide, but no big deal, okay? And your last step is that I have negative 3. Again, socks with sandals. We can't leave it like that. Okay? I'm sorry, it's not socks with sandals. It's a faux pas. I'm sorry. Okay? And that y is just going to come down to the bottom. Okay? So again, I'll back out, so if you need to pause it, pick whichever method you're comfortable with, okay? And I'll send you a picture as well. All right, good luck.